I received a question how to access your purpose when you're not doing something that is related to your purpose, whatever that is. And it was related, the question was related to when you have a job and it's not the job that you want because there was something else that you were meant to do. And it was an interesting conversation that we had online, but it made me think about my dad, who his purpose is to preach. That's what he wants to do. He is a preacher at heart, but he also had another job. He was a professor, and then he was a vice president of a college. And even though he was vice president of a Christian college, it still wasn't completely targeted on his purpose. And he told me that he would pray because he wanted to be able to be in a ministry full time, and he always preached on the weekends. He led Bible studies. He did all these different things, but it was always on the weekend, and it was always after hours. And he had to do these other jobs, which he was very successful. His final years when he was working were in estate planning. Very, very successful person, but it was never exactly what he felt that he was born for. And at the end of his career, his long career, now he's retired, he said, I prayed for something and it actually happened. He did preach full time. He preached almost every single weekend. He counseled people. He was a leader in his church community. That was an important part of his life. And you could have said, and it was probably like a full-time job to him. And he didn't happen the way he thought it was going to happen, but it did happen because he allowed himself to pursue his purpose, even though it wasn't happening in the way that he wanted it to, which is to be doing that full time and somehow financially supporting himself and his family through preaching. So I use him as an example, a great example of how to access your purpose and pursue your purpose and not wait for the ship to come in, because no matter what, you can always find space to do what you're passionate about. You can. And you can always find opportunities within the life that you have to do what is connected to your purpose. So whether or not I am meant to be a speaker for the rest of my life or to be a coach for the rest of my life, what I do know is it is my purpose to encourage you, and I am going to do that whether I get paid to do it or not. It's not about my job. Too often we think that in order to live a fulfilling life, everything has to be aligned. So your job has to be totally purpose-driven. Your marriage, your relationships, your friendships, your location, everything has to be like this perfect thing. And I do think that there are levels of success that you can have related to your purpose, that the more you align yourself with your purpose, the more joy that you're going to feel. But I don't believe that you have to quit your job to access your purpose. I don't think that you have to leave your spouse or be single or you don't have to have those outgrowths of your purpose in order to have what you were meant to have. What you need to do in order to reach the heights of what your purpose is designed for you is to take whatever you have in this moment and make space for passion. I'm sure my dad could have done a million other things with his time. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy is studying and praying all the time when he could be seeing one of my track meets or hanging out with friends. But that's not what he chose to do. What he chose to do was, no matter what the circumstances, he was going to make sure that he was teaching somebody something. And whether it was one person or thousands of people, which he has had the opportunity to do both, he was going to live in his purpose. And that is my greatest example. So as you are trying to figure out where the heck does my purpose fit into my life, here's what you need to know. Your purpose doesn't fit into anything. Your purpose is you. It exists in you. So you don't have to find it or create it or anything like that. It is just part of who you are. It's the drive to do good in the places that you are driven and passionate to do good. therein lies your purpose. And so your job is to try to be beneficial to your community and access that joy that is yours. And I promise you that if you continue to do that, you're going to find yourself in the middle of your purpose. That's what I think. I think you're going to be completely aligned with why you're on the planet. I hope this is encouraging to you. Most people aren't Mother Teresa or Martin Luther King Jr. or Madonna. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be some great spiritual thing. Most people don't get to live that way. Most people have to have jobs, and there are many distractions in their life. But I promise you that you don't have to be that in order to live a life of purpose. You really don't. What you need to do is look around today, look around at your community and say, what can I do to love and support the world that I live in right at this moment? Don't wait. Don't postpone it. Don't think that maybe when you get enough money saved up, or maybe when your kid leaves the house, or maybe when you finally have enough time. You'll never have enough time or money. People will always want something from you, but your purpose still lives, and we need you to live in your purpose. And that is the greatest privilege of all, is the opportunity to live out your purpose in any way that you can. This is my encouragement to you. Just today. Can you imagine the movement that we can have in the 180 group if everyone just did something good every single day? And these hundreds of people that are part of this process will be shining lights out into the world. And I hope that just for today that I was able to shine a light for you.